Us right now, as he does every Monday at this time, win or loss, is our pal. I think we can call him our pal, Jonathan Allen.
Absolutely.
Pro Bowl defensive tackle from the Commanders. He's presented by Main Street Bank. Cheer local, bank local. Put their team in your office. Visit mstreetbank.com for more information. Hey, Jonathan, after a game like that, just tell me kind of like, what time do you get home? What does the rest of the day / night look like for Jonathan Allen?
I get home. I got home last night around like 6 o'clock. I went to the stadium like 50 miles in my gas tank, so I had to stop and get gas.
Oh.
And I went home and watched some football. And once I saw the Cowboys losing, that made me feel a little better. So I turned that game on and watched that game, and then went to bed.
What do you do? Do you do like a sauna, or do you like a hot tub or something like to loosen your muscles after a game like that?
Massage, maybe?
Yeah. What do you do?
On Sundays, I really don't do too much. On Mondays, I go in and I squat heavy, and then I have a massage, and then I get in my hyperbaric chamber, and then on Tuesday, I lift upper body heavy, hyperbaric chamber, stretch, roll out.
Why do you go heavy? Just to get that lactic acid, that kind of thing?
You got to get the lactic acid out. I never understood it, but my first 2 years in the league, I would feel terrible on Wednesdays. And it wasn't until the D-line coach, Jim Tomsula, told me, you have to squat. Obviously, you're not maxing out, but you're going pretty heavy. Like today, I hit 545 on chain squats. Like, you need to go really heavy to really get – I don't know, get the soreness out of your legs. I can't explain it, but
right.
How many reps, by the way, when you're doing 545? How many reps?
How long does it take you to put all the plates on the bar too? I got like 20 minutes.
No, that was the strength coaches are for. But I usually do about 2 to 3 reps. So
okay,
I'm not like doing 1 rep max, but a nice and steady 3 reps, and go from there.
Wow.
Our musclehead producer is asking, is your butt hitting the ground? He's being very persnickety about your squats.
Yeah. Are you getting depth?
It's box squat. It's box squat.
Oh, box squat.
It's not free range squat.
Okay.
That's why I go.
Got to protect the knees
for my depth. Yeah.
All right, so
I'm out of the squat game. I don't even know what these word terms mean.
All right, so let's get to the defensive performance yesterday. Obviously not what you wanted. A couple things jumped out at us, and I'm sure to you guys. Josh Allen and the Bills were 9 for 15 on third downs. How much is that you guys not getting it done? How much is it Josh Allen's a special talent? I mean, rolling out of the pocket, hits Diggs on a couple of really nice throws that most quarterbacks in the league can't make. What was going on there on third downs that allowed them to be so successful?
I'll put it on the D-line for sure. I mean, we didn't do a good job of keeping them in the pocket. And when you let a quarterback like Josh Allen get out of the pocket and you're expecting our DBs to cover these receivers for 3+ seconds, that's a tall order. So obviously as a defensive line, we got to be better. And I got to be better myself, making sure I'm doing what I can with my rush lanes to make sure he doesn't have a place to run.
I had assumed going in that we would have a spy on him, and I'm dumb. I don't know anything, but it didn't seem like on those ones where he got away that like Jamin or anybody was particularly spying him. What was the game plan going in?
I feel like when you have 4 first-round picks on the defensive line, we're expected to make some of those plays, and we're put in a position that other teams might not put D linemen in. Mm-hmm. But again, we have 4 first-round picks. We need to get the job done. So,
right.
Again, D-line, we have to play better, and we're going to play better.
So I'm just asking you a specific question. Were you spying Josh? Like, did you have, or was that not the plan?
No, it was more of us 4 rushing together.
Gotcha.
Playing off of each other and keeping them in the pocket as a group.
Gotcha. All right.
Now, a couple of times he escaped stepping up. Was their offensive line better than you expected?
I don't really get surprised in the NFL because if you're in the NFL, you're a good player. Not to mention most of those guys on the bubble I've played before, so I knew what kind of players they were. I think it's just a credit to Josh Allen, man. Great pocket awareness. He's one of the best players in the NFL for a reason. Mm-hmm. So,
were there a couple times where you thought you had him, but he scooted out?
I mean, the plays happen so fast. I'm not really thinking like, oh, we got him, but we're just playing hard, and he definitely escaped out of a couple situations where we would like to have that back.
Now, you guys gave up 212 yards of offense in the first half, and I got to tell you on social media, some of the callers, people wanted to defend you guys defensively because, the offense put you in some bad spots. How much is it that, after an interception, after a fumble, sometimes there's short fields, or did you guys just fail?
I mean, we just didn't. I mean, we lost 37-3, so I think you can safely say that everybody on the team failed that game. I mean, it would be easy to blame the offense, but at the end of the day, defense didn't give our offense any short fields and didn't do a lot of things to help them out. So, we're going to be better next game.
Right. I do expect that. That's the one bright side is when kind of games go bad like this. I do expect a lot of things to be corrected. One thing that I'm curious about is it seems like it's been maybe a theme. Maybe it's not. Maybe you can tell me I'm full of crap, John. But that there's been some times where I felt like teams have been successful rushing the football against us, and I don't expect that. Now, in the two previous games, you've shut that down. But I don't know. I feel like we've struggled more against the run maybe than I anticipated.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't watched the film yet, so I definitely got to go back and look at it. But, I mean, it's just little things, you know what I mean? One guy not fitting in the gap there, one guy not fitting in the gap there, one guy not crack replacing, whatever the case may be. So, obviously not the start that we wanted defensively. But, again, luckily it's still early in the season. And, yeah, we're going to make the necessary adjustments and keep it moving.
What are Del Rio and the defensive coaches like when they're going through a film when you lose by 34? Is it that much different when you say you have a win by 10 or 12 points? Like, are they kind of even keel, win or lose? What's that like watching the film after a game like yesterday's?
It's tough, I mean, there's so many variables when it happens in the season, how it happens, because, obviously not all games are created equally, but at the end of the day, there's just a lot of accountability that needs to be taken, and when you go through the film, you just can't be sensitive and take the coaching, and yeah, man, it's football. It's going to happen. Obviously, you wish it would never happen, but there's going to be games like this from time to time, and when they do come up, we just need to be grown men and move on, take what we can from it, and get ready for the next game.
What's it like in the locker room, like at halftime when the game's kind of getting away from you? Guys are still kind of in there, but is it like you think in the movies where, like, I want to see guys kicking coolers and coaches screaming, but I assume it's not like that. It's a lot
too
more
fast.
mellow. I don't know. What's it like?
It definitely can be. One thing that I've learned is when things are bad, you need to be able to remain level-headed and calm and focus on what you have to do. And that's what we did last week. When we were down 21-3 or whatever it was, guys weren't screaming at each other, yelling at each other. We were like, hey, let's take it one play at a time. Do your job. Let's see what happens. And we were able to come back. So when you're in that situation, obviously there's a time and a place for it.
John,
But as a player, I can't be screaming. I got to be able to go in there. We got to talk as a team, figure out what we're doing wrong, move on, try to make better plays in the second half.
John, what did you think about the atmosphere? Were there more Bills fans than you thought?
Bills fans travel well in New York, right up the road.
Right.
I thought the stadium was great. Rainy game, there was a bunch of fans out there. This year has been phenomenal. I have no complaints about our stadium. We just got to put a better product out there.
Talking to Jonathan Allen, Pro Bowl defensive tackle. So it's not your side of the ball, but we've talked to you about Sam Howell thus far. What did you make of his demeanor as a game that just kind of got away from him? The interceptions piled up. He ended up with 4 interceptions. Did you talk to him? What did you see from him?
I think it would have been easy for him to go into a shell, and I don't think anybody would have blamed him. But he didn't. We went out there and we threw, and we worked on the things we had to work on until the end of the game. And one thing about Sam is he's going to remain calm in every situation. You know what I mean? So his demeanor was exactly what I would expect it to be. I know people are going to be killing him and calling for his head, but being a quarterback in the NFL, you get the glory when you're winning, and you take the criticism when you're losing. So it comes with the territory, and I understand that he can handle it.
I love his demeanor, and I think one of his strengths is that he is resilient, and so many times we've seen it within a game. Maybe have a bad play and then come right back up with a big one.
He came out in the second half, that dime to Samuel.
Yeah, but it didn't really happen consistently. But I will say this, by the same token, kind of getting back to my other question for you, John, sometimes I'd like to see my quarterback slam his helmet once in a while. He's so chill either way. You know what I mean? But it's probably a strength.
Oh, yeah. I know what kind of guy he is because I remember playing with Jalen Hurts. And my first year with him, I was so surprised. Like, man, he shows no emotion. He's very cool, calm. That's just how he is. You know what I mean? You're not going to see Jalen Hurts slamming helmets and doing all these things. So that's just the demeanor that they have. And you just got to understand, like, it's not that they don't care. It's just, hey, they're level-headed, they're calm, and they're focused on what they have to do next. So, hey, man, I love to see that out of my quarterback.
John, when you see scores like what the Dolphins did to Denver, it's 70-20. That's what USC should do to an FCS school.
Colorado.
Right. Right. or you see Dallas go into Arizona and get dominated. I mean, do scores surprise you, or as a player, do you just tell yourself, you know what, it's the NFL. These guys are all paid to play.
I mean, you can definitely be surprised. You don't expect to see 70 points.
Right. Yeah,
in
that's
an
crazy.
NFL game.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's pretty wild. But, I mean, again, in the NFL, I've going into year 7. In year 7, it's hard for me to be surprised. Now, I feel like I've seen a lot of football. So, I mean, I understand that if you're not focused on what you got to do, and you don't take a team seriously, any team can beat you on any given Sunday. And I truly believe that. And if you look at that roster in Arizona, there's still a bunch of phenomenal football players on it. So, I'm not really surprised, man. The team that plays the best is going to win. That's what's so great about football. Unlike basketball, you got to be better 4 out of 7 games in the playoffs. That's really hard to do for an underdog. In football, all it takes is 1 game.
Right.
So, not really surprised.
So I got to assume that Philly going to be obviously – I actually like it. It's going to be a great challenge. It's not necessarily like a so-called softer team, you know what I mean? Because I want to see how you guys respond. And I got to imagine they're going to do a lot of the same things, certainly defensively. I think they're going to throw the kitchen sink at Sam every damn time. And then what do you think you'll be facing? What's going to be your challenge against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles?
I mean, Jalen Hurts, they're going to run the ball. So you got to stop the run. DeAndre Swift is playing phenomenally so far. Jalen Hurts is going to run the ball. So, I mean, for me, the key is we got to be able to stop the run. And when you stop the run, you got to stop their explosives over the top. That's what they like to do. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just going to the game, focusing on my technique, and, we'll see what happens.
Right. All right. Anybody got anything else for Jonathan?
So what's today's your day off, so what else are you doing today?
So I have this. I have a massage at 11:15. I think me and Hannah are going to go to the mall at around 2 or 3, look at some new mattresses, hyperbaric chamber. Might watch some football tonight. I don't know. I'm still pissed off. I don't know about that yet. So we'll see.
You got 2 Monday night games. I was wondering how late will you stay up?
I'll kind of watch the first quarter, see how it goes, watch a couple guys, and probably stop watching. That's usually how it goes.
Let me see. Do you know both of the games tonight?
I do not. I remember it's a doubleheader. Let me see. Steelers played. 49ers played on Thursday. Yeah, I have no idea.
So who do the Eagles play?
Wish I could tell you.
Buccaneers.
They play the Bucs.
I have no idea. Okay, Eagles, Bucs. I do remember that.
And then it's Rams, Bengals at 8:15. Eagles, Bucs starts at 7:15, so that's an early one.
By the way, where do you shop for a hyperbaric chamber?
You'd be surprised. You can get almost anything through Instagram. You've seen Instagram, and
Do you get scared? Don't you zip that thing up, and you just gotta hope that oxygen thing is working, right? Because you're like enclosed in there, right?
Well, you got to be able to get out, right? You don't just zip yourself in and you have no way of getting out.
By the way, you got to watch the Instagram ads. I'm telling you, I thought I did pay for, I think it was like 3 dozen Pro V X's or something like that for like $30.
Oh,
never received them.
No, but tell me about the hyperbaric chamber. Like, do you get claustrophobic in there?
It's honestly not bad. The one I got is an XL one, so I can sit up in it. So I'm sitting up the whole time. I have like a bunch of headroom, can fully lay down if I want, completely stretched out.
Right.
So it's not as bad. It's not as claustrophobic in there as you think. And then when it gets filled up with pressure, you get even more room. So it's pretty spacious.
Right. All right. I would be super claustrophobic. Do you get claustrophobic in the MRI machine?
Oh, yeah, no, that's terrible.
Terrible.
I hate MRI.
I don't think anybody likes those.
Those things are terrible.
Never been in one. Don't know what this is like.
Your body's a temple.
Body's
so
a temple.
soft.
It's too silly. It's never been affected.
All right, John, we'll get a good massage, get healthy, and I can't wait to see what you guys come up with next week against Philly. We'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, appreciate you
See you,
guys.
buddy.
All right, thank you, buddy.
Yeah.
Jonathan Allen, presented by Main Street Bank. Cheer local, bank local. Put their team in your office. Visit mstreetbank.com for more information.